It's time to give you the update, everybody. A petrol is a hybrid. So when people are asking, should I get the petrol or should I get the hybrid? Should I get the diesel? Should I get the hybrid? It's clear that there's a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about and don't understand. And I completely understand that. That's understandable. So this is a Corolla hybrid. First points I'd like to make is Toyota have been doing hybrids for decades and they've been very reliable, one of the most reliable vehicles on the road, Toyota in general, including the hybrids. No problems that I've ever experienced, heard of from anyone in any way whatsoever. Now, I'm sure there's going to be the odd issue like there is with everything, but I'm talking super duper rare, if that's a thing. Is that a thing? I mean, that's a bit weird, isn't it? You know, it just seems... what's going on there? Hey, we'll have a separate video on that another time. At the moment, we're talking about, should you get the petrol or the hybrid? Well, if you're buying a Toyota, you won't be getting the petrol, you'll be getting the hybrid, which happens to be a petrol. So let me keep it simple and explain it. It used to be a petrol engine, or you could get a diesel engine in some vehicles, not a Corolla, because why would you even buy a small car with a diesel? Diesel is for touring vehicles, outback touring, where you need range, where you need to carry fuel safely, extra fuel, and you need economy towing, or you need engine with torque to maintain speeds more fuel efficiently, hauling a load. Petrol engine's a little rever, it makes power, not torque, but of course they've got different purposes, and for a small car, petrol engine has always been best. I ain't going to sell you any diesel for a small car. If you've got a small car diesel, or you're thinking about buying one, it's probably time to get rid of it before it costs you too much money, and don't buy any more new diesels. Probably anything, to be quite honest, full stop, because a diesel engine with a strap-on hybrid is not a hybrid. The new Prado is not a hybrid, it's a diesel strap-on, okay? It's a joke. Right, now, but with all your technology problems of everything you can imagine combined into one vehicle. This is a super reliable hybrid. It's an EV, right? So it's an electric vehicle. Yep, it's an EV, and some people are a bit scared of that word hybrid, you know, when it gets blue on the Toyota badge. And EV, they're a bit scared of that. But let me explain to you how good it is. They use about half the fuel of a comparable petrol engine, which is great. You don't need to plug it in. There's no plug on it. Now, I'm not saying that's a good idea. I believe there should be a plug in that option, but that's a separate video and a separate story. And if you subscribe with the bell on, we'll get to talk about that with you. But what this is, think of it this way. It's a really efficient 4-cylinder petrol engine. That's why you can see 4 coils for the 4 spark plugs. So are you getting the petrol or the hybrid? The answer is it's one and the same. Everybody's buying these. They have been for years because it's a no-brainer, okay? And when I say no-brainer, often people don't understand what they're buying and it's just what the salesman sells them. So that's one way it's a no-brainer. And the other way is, if you knew what you were buying, in most cases, this is what's going to suit everybody. So it's once again a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer whichever way you look at it. To the point that Toyota have stopped providing and well, maybe not manufacturing, but in Australia, you can't get the petrol. You can't go buy a new Corolla or Camry, as far as I know, with a petrol engine. That finished a while ago. It's now a petrol engine, a hybrid that uses half the fuel. So think of it this way. When you get in the car, if I hop in this vehicle now, it's going to move off like an electric vehicle unless I've got the aircon or the heater set on specific settings that ask for the engine to start, because it's what makes heat. So you still need a petrol engine if you want heat maybe, but no, there's other systems for electric cars, but that's another story again, another video. So it's got an EV mode until you put the foot down a bit more where the engine starts. So keeping it simple is what I was meant to do. So think of it as an EV and a petrol engine in one. It can run on the electric motor with a battery, and it's not a lithium battery that's going to burst into flames. It's a nickel metal hydride. Again, they've been using for decades, no problem. Cheaper, better. I mean, look, lithium, better, maybe. No, not really. I'm not a fan, but you know, you do what you got to do. I'm just here to talk about mainly that the choice between petrol and hybrid isn't a choice. The petrol is a hybrid. If it's a diesel, it's not a hybrid, and you certainly don't want a diesel engine stopping and starting like what you can do with a petrol engine. So have a think about that with your 250 Prado. Anyway, it can run electrically, So electric, running off the battery till it gets to a certain state of charge. If you're driving it nicely and the battery starts getting below where it wants to be, then the engine's going to start. And to keep it simple, I'm not going to go into the technical part of it, but the engine's going to be running as a generator. Okay, so the petrol engine's running as a generator, and it's a big generator. Okay, just think of it that way. It's like a big alternator. Okay, a big petrol engine alternator, and it's really getting that charge back into that battery, where the engine can shut off again pretty soon. It might only run for a few minutes. You drive around slowly in traffic, it might not run at all. It might run for a few minutes, recharge that battery, and you're still operating on electric mode. There's also another mode. It can also be running, say the battery's depleted for whatever reason, it can also run on petrol mode, so just like a normal petrol engine. So that's good. When you really get into it and put the foot down, what happens though, the petrol engine and the electric side of it combines, and the electric engine uses the battery and the petrol engine uses the fuel, and they combine together, creating maximum power and torque, and they go like an absolute rocket ship. So this is a bonus as well of having two combined factors in there, the petrol and the electric. Petrol engines quite happy stop and starting, especially these engines. Like I said, Toyota have been doing this a long time. Very reliable, I've got no doubt about it. That's why we've got this Corolla hybrid. We've had it for a few years, and the latest hybrids are actually the best. They're a lot better than what was out in the Camrys, say 15, 20 years ago when they sort of came out, or when we started to see them here in Australia, probably in the 90s. Was it 2000? And I don't even know, just after 2000, or was it late? No, it wasn't late 90s. I don't even know. Might have been late 90s. Is that how long? It's 20, so 3 decades in Australia. Can someone let me know when the first Camry hybrid was in Australia? Pop it in the comments for everybody to know. What's going on now is much better. It's even more reliable. They've got a lot of experience with it. You've still got a normal cranker battery at the front here. Look, don't worry about water, even in a proper four-wheel drive, electric, hybrid. All this is fully waterproof, okay? And you know what? I might even give the engine bay a wash down in another video with heaps of water just to show you. Usual things though, you don't want to force water down past your coils, down into your spark plug areas are going to be the main ones. And don't go close with a pressure washer to any of your electric components and plugs. Plugs not so much, but pushing water into electrical components, not ideal, including computers and things like that. So I just wanted to make it really clear that it's a petrol hybrid. A petrol hybrid is what it is. It's a very good option. If you're not sure about it, sit back and watch me and see what cars we purchase and test over the coming years. You might be surprised what you see, and I think you'll be surprised how well it performs. Performance, power, torque, economy, reliability, ticks the boxes on everything. At least here in Australia, there's no reason to touch any more new diesels for anything whatsoever. End of story. Thanks for watching. Bada bing, bada boom. If you don't like that, bingo bango, eat a mango.